So I can hear something in the background. Okay, I can't hear it anymore. So welcome, guys. Honestly, I think I actually enjoyed this episode. If I'm being honest, like compared to the others, this is one of the best.
I
Everybody I
think because they're
wanted to
getting down, yeah.
I'm still mad. The person I wanted to stay went home, and so I'm not happy a little bit. So today we're going to jump right into the episode so we do not waste like minutes talking about
Yeah.
how we felt. So because I'm like, we need to get down into the episode. So first of
Hey,
all, Red
Cindy.
got sent home. I said it that Red was going to get sent home. He had nothing to offer to anybody. It was a waste of space, sorry to say, and he was boring. What did
Yeah,
you guys think?
same. We already knew Ray was going home. He was mad. He was already up in his feelings of letting the cat out the bag. Sorry.
Yeah,
He was
no,
letting it out the bag before the episode even aired. Like, we knew he was already going home. But
yeah.
he had nothing. Like, the women had to carry the conversation. They had to carry the whole, like, anytime he was around, it was them doing all the carrying. He added nothing, like you said. Like, what was he there for?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And hey, Trinette, at some point, Fabulous Manuel, welcome in. Glad to have y'all here. I agree. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, he got grace for the thought job, but at the end of the day, it seemed like he was more about his career than what he could give. And I know that for the ladies, it must have not been easy. And like I said, Nephew Tommy Woolpacker, that lady should be Nephew Tommy's co-host because she read both of them down with the. I felt like I was shaded. I wasn't even on the damn show. But but no, seriously, when you look at it, I think they were probably thinking, okay, Melvin likes to ride and jump on things like Genuine. But at least, he is there, to shake things up a little bit, which has been said on this channel.
Hey,
And
Martha.
hey, Martha, welcome in. That's been said on this channel and, of course, all the others. But then when you look at Red, he always goes back to his career. At least with sex, you can make it, entertaining enough. So I think they did the right thing with Red.
Yeah. Because he was not
I
fine enough to make any of the girls interested. That's my main point. I like fine men. I have a problem with fine men. So sorry.
I'm just saying, like, okay, as much as he talks about his career, sir, you did nothing. Like, you didn't tell no jokes. You wasn't like trying to make people turn up and laugh. Like, you had nothing that even showed you were that type of person. And
He
from
couldn't
as
even take
boring,
a joke.
no. So yeah, no, there was really nothing when it came to it. When it comes to Red, what
now,
do you think?
now the thing about it is, I feel like they didn't make the right choice. Personally, I really feel like
Okay.
Red still should be on the show. I kind of, with all the internet and social media beef going on, and I was following it, and I actually kind of followed his page on Instagram. And on his page, it really showed that he has some type of personality, and it does show him interacting with people in another vein. I really don't feel like they really gave him a chance. The show didn't give him a chance. I feel like they edited him out. And then on the back end of it, I do feel like Red was there for love, but at the exact same time, I don't feel like he put his best foot forward. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you are in different situations, you really don't know how you're gonna react, and you really feel like you were going to try to give another side of yourself. Or I don't think he just couldn't open up. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like
Sure.
he's ready to love. I just don't feel like they gave him the opportunity to.
Well, let me ask you this
He just
too. No, go ahead.
no,
Go ahead, Gigi. I'll come
go
right back.
ahead, because I just don't feel like he had any character. He just no. Mm-mm.
Well, let me.
I
Well,
don't
let me
want to
ask you.
talk about Red because I'm going to be so mad at this man. Because even at the end of the day, he was still talking about his job, complaining about editing. Oh my god, blah blah blah. Did you see what he said? The reason why he came out, what's her name?
Unique.
Unique was like, oh, they edited it out. Um, then tell us what was edited out. Because every
Right.
single time you kept making reference to that job. Yeah, Mocha, he's boring. Had nothing to offer.
Like
Well,
nothing.
let me ask you this, Q, and then we'll move on because I see Solana is not ready to talk about Red at all in the past, present, or afterlife. But let me ask this question because you said that you saw his personality, and I'm asking this brother to brother. Do you feel that from what you saw on his Instagram, do you feel like that actually would have carried him on the show? Because one thing that nephew Tommy said about the Steve Harvey Morning Show is that he can't take his radio comedy and do it on stage because each platform requires a different energy. So do you feel that even though he could take his Instagram energy and translate, do you think it actually would have hit it from what you saw on Instagram?
See, the thing about the show is they're gonna create whatever narrative they're gonna create. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, so they're never gonna put the things that Red did right. You know, the conversations that he did have, the interesting things he did do. You know what I'm saying? So they never, of course, when they're kicking you off the show like they did last week, they showed just a bad side of Red. You know what I mean? And for him to even be a candidate for the show, you got to show some kind of humor or some kind of personality. You know what I mean? You have to show some kind of value. Like, where is he going to fit in at this show? You know what I'm saying?
That is true. He did land on the show, so I mean,
Yeah, but
So
this is
I'm
the
he had to do
thing.
something.
Even if
What
they were editing you out, like
eh,
as much editing is done, make sure that you give them enough to talk about. Give them enough good points so that when they're editing, they have at least something to show good. There was
Right.
nothing. So we can't
but I'm gonna
keep
tell you,
saying, oh, it's editing, it's producers, it's how they're. No, because,
but I'm gonna
you know,
tell,
you're giving them so much time. And yeah, they have been called out, you know, because of
I'm gonna
how
tell you
they
one
do
thing.
things and, you know, the working conditions and things like that. But still, if you know this is a dating show, come with your A game.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing. Can you hear me?
yes,
Yeah,
I'm
sir.
gonna tell you
sounds
one thing. I know that might be my phone. Is that my phone?
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, there's some rustling going on, and Solana just
Hello.
went dark.
okay. Yeah,
This
just
one.
definitely went dark.
Let me just change it to this one.
Okay,
Okay,
but go
but
ahead.
no, Q. But no, Q. You were saying something, brother.
I'm really, yeah. I'm really, to tell you the truth, I'm really just trying to give Red the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Maybe he didn't fit on the show, but I do feel like, you know what I mean, that his conversations could have been more interesting. They could have showed the conversations that were more involving. You know what I mean? But I don't think the narrative that they were pushing was that he was. They really made him look narcissistic. That wasn't fair. He might have some narcissistic traits. You know what I'm saying? But from what I've seen, you know what I mean, bits and pieces of his Instagram and videos he posted, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He kind of seemed like a people person.
I mean,
I
they
can.
all do.
I mean, right? No, right, GG. No, and you know what? Let me say this. I can definitely see your point because they do take 12 to 14 hours a day. I think Janelle in a video that's on a talk with Solana's YouTube channel that she said the call time was like at 6 a.m. So the longer you do go, the less personality you do have to give. So I will be gracious to that for sure. Solana is back, and so I'm going to give it back to her because I think this is the most great she's going to be talking about Red personally. But that's neither here nor there.
But yeah, I'm glad Red's gone though. He needed to go. He didn't give anything. They have Marvin there for replacement. We all know he's there just to spice things up. He's not really there for love as well. So,
Uh-huh.
I told
but
you it's a test for next season.
over Red, Marvin definitely has more. He just listen. We see what 2025 is going to be like.
Uh huh.
Actually, Aubrey, you got it. He's too involved in himself. Like his Instagram, it totally puts me off, and I'm like, there's just something about this dude that I'm sorry. There's just something about him. But let's move on. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we have two ladies at the bottom today. And they were
Mm.
Kira and Unique. You see, I will always give Unique benefit of the doubt. I will
hmm
always support Unique. And this episode, It just proved to me why she was always defensive, why she was always like rah rah rah, because it was so obvious that this woman is damaged. But I was mad that Kira stayed. At
Yeah.
least Unique had
I was mad
two or
about
three
that.
connections,
Yeah.
but Kira
Yeah.
stayed. She's
Yeah.
just existing
Kira's
with
too
her
superficial for me.
insecurities and has nobody that likes her. So why is Kira here?
Kira's too superficial. So tell me what you like, what you see. Like, what? Like,
I was so
girl.
irritated. Like, this is the first time in this season I'm like, the
Okay, so
wrong
how you
person
feel
went.
about Red? That's how I am about Kira. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
it, no, that energy, the energy she was giving. First off, that's not you looking for love. That's you. No, I'm sorry. That, oh, child, let me just go ahead. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
go ahead.
I definitely agree with all of you. It seems to me that as the show evolves, it seems that the truer the form to character comes out. And from what I've seen of Kiara, it seems that I'm not gonna say materialistic, but it seems like she has nothing to focus on that is important to her. And I could be completely wrong. You know, like you gave grace to Red, I could be completely wrong because we only know a moment of what we see for an hour, 40 minutes about commercials. But it just seems like there's nothing that she focuses on that's attainable or that really matters to her in terms of what she wants in a relationship.
She's not there for real love. She's there. She's thinking this is a beauty pageant. This is a beauty contest to her. She's trying to get the guys to look at her body, look at how beautiful she is. And then for you to come at Quentin the way that you did, and basically proclaim that he likes white
Oh,
women,
child.
but then say, oh, because I know, because, a lot of my friends are like, girl, if you
Sorry,
listen here,
Gigi.
Yeah.
Let's not jump the boat, because
okay, I see, I was trying, but okay,
I was
okay.
heated in that conversation. And I think
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about that, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about Kira and white women. Because I've noticed that amongst some black women.
Yeah,
But I'm sorry, I was most annoyed. Yeah,
hold
Kira
on.
is like Janelle, an adult sized middle schooler. I was most annoyed. There's nothing anybody wants to tell me in this episode. I was most annoyed by Marvin. In fact, I felt heartbroken. You guys went on a very lovely date. You guys have obviously been talking for several weeks. You know her problems. You know that she's
Mhm.
still in the process of healing. And I actually agree with her when she was speaking to Quentin. When you come from a traumatic relationship, healing is never something you say, I'm fully healed. To me,
Absolutely.
I feel like healing is a process that continuously goes on. And then at some point, you are able to beat your chest that, yes, I'm ready to go out there. Yes, I'm ready to date. And that's where she is. So now, what happened in her previous relationship is guiding her reactions, is guiding what she's saying. And it was very obvious with the conversation with Marvin. Because I'm like, when he said, oh, you have daughters, I have a daughter, I want to have a son. If I have a son, then I'm fine. This was his best connection because Unique was buying every single thing that he was
yeah,
selling.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
She's been
just a
holding on to
simple,
everything he's
yes.
been selling from the very beginning. Like when he first came on the scene, she was the first one to be like, oh,
See,
I'm intrigued
yeah,
by what he's saying.
I
So,
saw
so
it from
yeah,
two sides. Yes, it's a non-negotiable thing. Oh, I need to have kids. Oh, I need to have a son. If we talk about the girls in between them, that means they have about four girls between the both of them. So now we want a son. I definitely understand that. I'm not beating anybody about that. But her reaction is something that you could have asked her. Why are you reacting so excessively to that comment?
right.
Nobody asked that. And
No,
I
I
Like,
heard that
agree.
he just broke it up like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. But then you went to the men's lounge talking about how, oh my god, that was my first kiss, that was my this, that was my that. And then the next thing she's in your bottom. See, the whiplash I
right.
got, I was like, wow. You
Okay,
should be the
so
one that would have given her the benefit of the doubt, non-negotiable or not. But that was your best connection that you guys would have talked about. Why is she so scared to have a child?
so from what
Right.
I'm hearing, so from
Go
what I'm
ahead,
hearing
Brady.
from you, no, I was just gonna say what I'm hearing from you, Solana, is it seems that on this date that it was a real connection that seemed to form, and
Mm-hmm.
that Marvin was showing the human side of himself. So because he put out the products from his grocery store, follow me here, y'all, that she bought the products, she loves the products, but he said, okay, since I own the grocery store, I'm going to show you how bad my products are, and I'm gonna flip it and make you, and I'm gonna put you in your place just so I can stay. Now, from that point of view, that's not cool at all, because at the end of the day, if you're gonna play with somebody, play with Monopoly. At least it's all fake. You can rip up the board, you can get a new one, but you
Uh,
can't do that to people. And for the fact that he got saved last
Because of
elimination
her.
because of
right.
her,
Because right.
and also the fact that he keeps being under the radar by going back to sex, dude, you are lasting longer than you should.
Like if you're
I,
not noticing, nobody else is interested besides her and Kira.
right.
But
And
one
Like
thing,
Kira is only interested because she is desperate to stay.
I
Kira
really,
is only interested because she thinks everyone's supposed to be interested in her because she's young and she's cute and she's, you know, uh, oh, she's just how she is. That's only a nice way to say it. Gosh, like
one thing Marvin did in that date, or while they were dating, he spoke to her insecurities. And that's what kept her around so long. And I'm kind of blowed that she even, like he was saying, if you're gonna play with somebody, play Monopoly because he's playing a very dangerous game. The girl said
right,
Yep, he is.
she got two kids. Her heart is still a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? And one thing um y'all was saying about when you're in a place of healing, no one really ever heals. You just learn to deal with the
No.
situation
Yep.
better. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You learn to deal
Absolutely.
with it because the situation's always going to be there. Only thing you keep doing is learning how to deal with it better and better and better. So when it comes, you know how to even yourself out and think it through. You know what I mean? So, but one thing about her, I commend her for still trying to open up to love. But I feel like
Absolutely.
it was good for her to lead because I would really hate for somebody to really feed into her and pour into her and she doesn't get picked because that's gonna damage her even worse. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But you know what
Courageously,
though? No, go ahead, Q. I'll come right after you.
yeah, courageously, she stepped out there. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like personally, I want to get rid of Kira. Get Kira out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
it was crazy because Kira's connection at one time was red and wouldn't make any sense at all. And Red also had a connection with I mean, that's neither here nor there. But I'd rather Kira be gone than her. I really thought her and Chris was gonna have a solid connection. To tell you the truth,
Kira does. She's like I said, she's not there for the right thing. She's there
She's there for
looking to win a
promotion.
beauty contest.
Her and Red,
Like
the
that's
same
all she's
thing.
there for. Just like Red, what is her character besides like she just said,
A
do you like what
janitor.
you see? Tell me what it is that you see that you like. That's all she is and has. Like there's
Absolutely.
nothing else to her.
Yeah,
No,
this comment
absolutely.
perhaps some things we think on unique needs healing actually counts who she is, whether due to trauma or whether that simply has temperament. I think
No, I
it's
think that's a
actually a
wonderful point.
temperament, and I don't think she needs healing because I was actually born into like a traumatic marriage. So me going out there, me putting myself out there to date, and then someone hits me back with, "Oh, you need healing because you have trust issues, because you have this." I don't need healing because I have trust issues. What I endured made me have trust issues. Now, the onus
Right.
is on you to make sure I do not have that trust issues with you, because I'm going into a relationship with you. I'm laying it all bare that, oh, sometimes I tend to always have to wait to see if this person is the best choice for me, because I do not want to be heartbroken. I do not want to have to look at my back
Sure.
and be like, oh my God, this person a nice person, this person like Gigi, you know my story obviously. So
Right. Right.
imagine then going into a relationship and then every single time I'm hearing, oh my God, she's broken because her dad did this, she's broken, I'm like, mentally I'll be so mad, because I'm putting myself out there. I'm telling you about me because I want you to have an informed knowledge
Right.
before you get into a relationship with me.
Mm.
So Marvin cannot tell me, this is like if we're going by their weeks, it's about 4 weeks. You guys have been talking for 4 weeks. By now, you would have heard about her terrible marriage. You would have, it almost even comes across to me that she was being physically abused. Because when she went on
Probably
that
so.
date with
I agree.
Quentin,
I agree.
Yep.
she was like, oh, I'm happy I survived the boxing. And that just threw me back. My mom was never physically abused, it was emotional.
Right.
So it threw me
Yeah.
back, and I'm like, wow, for you to make that comment, I can walk into a boxing ring, I will laugh, come out. For her to have made that comment, she was physically abused. So
Yeah.
she put herself out there to date you. She put herself out there to date a man that works with um bondages and everything. You know,
Right.
Right.
I also started thinking about it again. Why does she want a man that works with bondages? Subconsciously, oh my God, I'm going into all these psychiatric things, but let me just say, subconsciously, sometimes when people are abused or were abused in the
Sure.
past, they tend to look for things that resemble what they experienced. So I'm
Yeah.
like, is that why she was really open to all this bondage stuff? Because
That's what I.
she
That's
has
what I was gonna say.
experienced those
Yeah.
sort of things.
I was
I,
thinking that. I was thinking that exact thing. That's the reason why I feel like she was even entertaining Marvin and kind of possibly even fell for him in a way because there was some resemblance to the domination and the control that maybe she
right.
whether she's really looking for it, but it's something that you know she finds herself getting into and attracted to, and that could be because of her what you say past trauma.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah, my mom, she said something to me that I'll never forget. She said to me, people have to earn the right to hear your story. But
Mm.
most importantly, people have to earn the responsibility of them getting to be a part of your story. I'm gonna say that one more time. People have to earn the right to hear your story. People have to earn the responsibility to be in your story.
mhm,
Because I think with Unique, if we remember last week's episode of how she took around that brother to all the women to make sure that he was okay, and she said,
Jessica
"Text me
did
when you're
that.
home."
Yeah, Jessica.
Jessica.
I
Jessica.
Yeah,
think
Jessica.
I think that
Hmm.
is the realest connection that she will have, because it felt real to me. So
It did. It was genuine. You can see that there are connections forming, and there are some that looks like it could be promising, but still, I do feel like there's still some weeding out that needs to be
This
done.
comment has taken me out.
Like I think he's oh
Because why would you endanger yourself just to say, oh, I'm in control? What I want is what I
right,
get. I'm
mm-mm.
still pissed that you did not ask her, why are you so. And everybody
Right.
knows I'm not a fan of having kids. I'm not, see, to be honest, if I date a guy that is infertile, I really do not mind, because I'm not a fan of like having kids. But if we say, okay, let's have kids, I'm open to it. I'm open to adoption, any other form.
right,
But okay, let's say once someone meets me and is like, oh, Ucha, we need to have like 4 kids. The way I'm going to react is going to be terrible, because
Right.
I'm not really open to having kids. Everybody in my
right,
family knows that I'm not really open to having kids. So
And
you should have just said, why are you not open to having kids? It is not even
well,
my reason why I do not want to have kids does not even have anything to do with emotional trauma. I'm just not, because I'm in the medical field, I'm just not even open to all this like beds, like I'm
Right.
traumatized. So
right,
I
it could
just
have been
do not
anything
want
because they were
to do
supposed to be
that.
saying like, they're non-negotiable. So you should have been able to state right then and there what it was that you did not like or want or was
Absolutely.
like that was the time. That was absolutely the time to do it.
Absolutely.
Like,
But no, for
but
sure. By the way,
but also he did not. It was not like he was even really trying to get into that with her. He wasn't trying to really go that far. He was still too much worried about looking like a romance novel
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
cover or whatever sort. I don't know.
Nah, this
Hmm.
is a good romance cover.
I mean, the ambiance is yes.
I mean, me and Janelle could have done better, but just saying.
Like
I just need her to put
well,
that outfit. I just need her to put the outfit on and just have some braids, and we'll just leave that there. Okay, we'll just leave that there.
oh Lord. But yeah, that is
Oh
no how
Lord.
he played her made her feel like I wouldn't be surprised if outside of there now that she's gone, now if he'll try to like pursue something and exert that control on her now that she's off the show. Because,
Right.
said like during the show they're not allowed to date each other or message each like they can't really date outside the show.
You
They can
can.
only
There was a whole like
I was wondering, I'm like, guess
problem
when they're
that
making
happened
connections,
last
that will be
season.
the whole point is to make connections outside the show, especially since y'all go home. Like you're not in a house,
Last
so
season,
like that's crazy
someone
if that's what
who
it is.
got booted off the show, like during the first episode, she ended up sleeping with a dude that was still in the process. It became very dramatic during the reunion.
Yeah,
I
I
think
remember
I
that.
heard about that.
I remember that.
And
So
and not to mention
So
they
too with these
actually did.
reality shows, and not to mention with these reality shows, most of the time each person will have a producer. So depending on the show, sometimes the producer will be responsible for two to three. So probably Marvin said, "Okay, hey, listen, can I get her number through proxy of her old producer?" By the way, Sarah Johnson, that's going to be another new show called Ready to Love After Dark on Discovery Plus. So we got Ready to Love After Dark and Ready to Love BDSM editions. So that edition will be on this fall, but Ready to Love After Dark, that's kind of like the live feeds of Big Brother, except it's After Dark on Discovery Plus. So that's where you find that allegedly.
That's in,
Wait,
that's that's
did
in.
anyone catch that both Marvin and Moira both made children outside of marriage, but they think they should date women without children?
Hmm.
Men
Very,
do have
very
double
good.
standards.
Wow.
Men, over to you guys.
Oh Lord Jesus. Well, I mean, listen. I think at the end of the day, you can evolve, but I think also be responsible for what you say. Right? It's just like with Kyra and Marvin, how she peeped his game of that he switched about wanting to go from the Caribbean to give her what she wanted to hear. It, like you said, Solana, if you do not
But
want
why
kids,
couldn't he
that
do that for Unique? This is the second
exactly,
time he's not supporting Unique.
right,
I mean,
exactly, and that's why I'm saying. No, go ahead, Q.
I mean, we I responded to the chat. That's what we responded to that question.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
wait, did anyone catch that both Marvin and Mario both made children outside of marriage? But
one thing about it is when you
yeah,
go when
let's
you
talk
go
about that, please.
when you go through something like that, it's no telling what the relationship was with each of their child's mothers. It's no telling what that relationship was. So you're like moving
Hmm.
forward. On the flip side of it, instead of me having to deal with somebody who has kids, I prefer not to deal with a woman and make a
Mhm.
family with her and move forward. It's nothing wrong with having your option. That's your option. That's your own personal decision. You can have that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You can make that decision. It to me it makes sense. But I'm on both sides of the fence. I can date
I
both.
mean, and you got a lot of people
But it's
who
always the
don't.
dudes that are the bitter ones. Most times. Let me not
Yeah,
generalize.
but and
Most times.
it does seem like that, and it's what it is a lot of times people have kids with people they're not supposed to. So
True.
it's
Uh
not even something that you're even really wanting to be dealing with. So next thing you know, you're like, look, I made this mistake once. I'm not going to do it again. And this is for men and women. It's just a lot of times men be the ones that act like they're just, like they didn't make the same mistake as we did or something. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're damaged in some type of way. That's the shit that bothers me. Like, don't act like I'm damaged just because I have kids and you know what I'm saying, with someone else and you do too.
it's not even about the woman sometimes. Sometimes it's about the kids. You know what I'm saying?
It,
When you
it, ex-
I'm a pretty good father, you know what I'm saying? And I'm very attentive to my child, you know what I'm saying? So dealing with other kids, if I was to date some of my other kids, I'm gonna be very attentive to them and I'm gonna open up my heart to the kids as well. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes and you thinking in your head like, will it work? And if it don't work,
right.
you still can have somewhat of an effect on that child's life. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
but
it's
you
not
know,
really
mhm.
you go ahead.
But no, I was gonna say to your point, Q. That is because you have the mindset and you've worked through the work to be able to have the space to provide that. And when it comes to this articulate question that actually Aubrey PD asked, I think that is circumstantial, dependent on your experience. Now, you should not allow your past circumstances to block a future blessing that could make you better.
Mm,
However, if you are worried about what could be, you have the responsibility to say, hey, listen, I had kids. Those experiences are not the ones that I wanted. And because of this connection here, I don't want to lose that. Now, two things are going to happen. Either that person's going to be open enough to be real with you, or they might have some pain that they haven't worked through either. But I do not think it's wrong to have your standards based on your circumstances, because at that point, that's everybody. That's
yeah.
everybody. You know what I mean? So I think people have the right to evolve. But like with Marvin, how he switched on Kira about switching to the Caribbean to hear what she wanted to hear, Kira just said, okay, listen, I know you're switching, but still be real with me. That's all I'm asking for. Just match the energy, as the people say.
He's not really fully figured out himself. So when it comes to Marvin, like you really can't too much expect too much from him. Okay. So until he has, he's not really going to know. But I just feel like don't sit there and act like you expect something or something from someone that you can't give. If you're a single dad, don't
Right.
expect to not get with someone who's possibly a single mom because you're going to find a more single mom out here than you are someone who's just a single chick. And these single chicks are the ones you
Yep.
got to look out for because they're the ones who don't care about ruining lives. They're the ones who, like that toxic shit because they're young, they haven't grown. If you want some grown shit and you're really looking for love, now I'm not saying young ones can't, be, love and all that other stuff. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying when you are a parent, there's certain shit that you have to look for and a different mindset that you have
Absolutely.
to have when it comes to being a parent, co-parenting, and also dating as a single parent. So
Now, one thing I like about the show is, it kind of give when some for a guy to say something like that, you know what I'm saying, that can say that you are ready to love or you aren't ready to love. For the simple fact that most of these guys are in their 30s, you know what I'm saying, maybe 40s as well. When you in a certain window, you know what I'm saying, and you're progressing in life, you want people to add to that, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times is your window of it becomes very, very smaller the higher and higher you go. You know what I'm saying? It's
Absolutely.
easier, it's a lot harder when you looking back. That's somebody you gotta pull forward. You know what I'm saying? But if you find somebody on that even plane that can walk with you, You know what I'm saying? It'll be a lot easier for you. You know what I'm saying? You and your walk. You know what I'm saying? Or your relationship status. So these guys here don't understand that the value a single mother can bring that has her stuff together. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
That's what I could be very valuable. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of women who don't have kids, mostly gonna be a lot of younger women. You know what I'm saying? You have older women who don't have kids as well. You know what I'm saying? But they got to look at what they're looking for, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because just because she does not have kids should not disqualify. She should just because she has kids should not disqualify her. It shouldn't disqualify
Mhm.
her at all. You know what I'm saying? She might have
Right.
more
Yeah.
value than a woman who have kids, who have no kids. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's why they're figuring this whole thing out in this process. Am I ready to love? And what does
Exactly.
love look like? You know what I'm saying? What does my
Exactly.
Right.
love look like? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like once they go through these different women, like one thing about Unique, you know what I'm saying, and Marvin's situation was Unique is ready to love, but at the exact same time, she still needs to ready to keep loving herself. Marvin, on the other hand, you can't leave saying that you're ready to love, but it seems like he only looking for one thing. You know what I'm saying? So you're not really ready to love. You ready to
Yep.
do something else. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
you're like one thing Red was doing, Red was pushing on his accomplishments. Look what I've accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Look what I've accomplished. Look what I got. Now, when you lead with that right there, and a woman who come to take advantage of that. You brought that on yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now, what's my man named Marvin? You know, what I mean, you leaving all these sexual innuendos and stuff like that. You feel me? But when that's not fulfilling to your heart, that's what you led with. You can't say you want something but leading with something else. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And with Marvin, like, what else is there to him besides that, though? You take
Exactly.
away all of that. What
He's an
else is there
erotic
to
writer.
you?
What else
He's
is
an
there?
Like,
erotic writer.
Well, I mean, listen. They do
that, well,
theme dates. You know
yeah.
what I mean? So I'm still waiting for a, you know, type of theme date. You know.
But look, I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you, this day right here, I was thinking this whole time that Unique was with Quentin on this date. I was like, she would rather be with Marvin right now. Like, he
Yeah.
has really
Because
got her.
Yeah.
Like the way that she was in this part, I was already thinking, I was like, she's been through some, whatever she has been through, it
Right.
was where somebody had control over her, or
Yeah.
there was some type of abuse of some sort, whether it was mental, physical,
it
verbal,
was
whatever.
physical. It was
Like,
physical. It was so obvious that she was physically
yeah,
abused.
like you can tell, and you can tell how he is, like how Marvin was. Marvin can see that, okay? Like he's a
Sorry.
manipulator.
Yes.
Just
Ooh.
watch.
Something in this
Yes.
scene
Yes.
showed how immature it was. I may seem like I'm judging him harshly, but he was too, how would I put it? Off put, if there's a word like that, too was unique. She was speaking and she was telling you something, and the way he was taking it was as if she was like, oh, I'm still traumatized, I'm coming here to
Mhm.
pour all my frustration on you. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, are you a child?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the one that keeps claiming every single time she needs to heal, she needs to heal, she needs to heal, she needs to heal. Like, dude, I'm tired. I didn't like the way he came out across. Maybe it's the way I'm reading it from him, but I hate when people try to use someone's like problems and be like, oh, this person's not getting love.
Insecurities. Mm-hmm.
Guys, it's
Yep.
terrible. You could easily manage her emotions. She was not being an emotional wreck. She was
Yeah.
telling you why she behaves how she behaves. And
Right.
the next thing you're saying is, oh, she needs to heal.
Yeah. I think that there's a difference, and I've said this on my channel. There's a difference between, you know.
Statement.
Oh yeah, I was. That's why I was laughing at. I'm like, child.
Right.
Well, I
I
mean,
seen
listen.
that. Oh Lord. Yeah.
Listen. That Jet Beauty of the Week thing was a thing. Yes, it was. Praise
Listen.
Him. Hallelujah.
This
Mama
was
say,
coming
Mama
out.
Sama
They had some
Makusa.
issues, honey.
Listen, listen. But no, I think there's a difference. And I've said this on my channel. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, "He or she who has not sinned cast the first stone." There's a
Mm-hmm.
difference between casting the stone and telling the truth and holding yourself accountable. And I
Mm-hmm.
think, there's a thing on Facebook that says that when a man is venting to a woman, he's complimenting her. I think it's vice versa for a woman. When a woman is vulnerable enough with a man, she is complimenting him. Depending on the man, okay? That's not everybody, okay? That's not everybody, okay? But just
Yeah.
saying that you have to be, in order for someone to open up to you, they're complimenting you to some degree because of the emotional intelligence that you have to give to them and match them. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, you know that you're coming on the show to look for love. If you are
Correct.
not in the position mentally, or you know that you have not moved past your trauma, I don't feel like you should even put yourself in a predicament to be in a spot to have
Well,
your
I'm
emotions
sorry.
toyed
I don't
with.
agree
Like,
because I feel like everybody has some form of like
we
damage within
exactly, but
them.
if you know that that is going to hold you back, and that's going to like that is what you're going to play off of, and that's going to keep you from actually finding love, don't go. That's what I'm saying. Like, yes, everybody has trauma, and
But the thing
everybody
is
has
that
their own thing,
if
but like,
she, you're not getting my point. Even if she gets healed in the next 3 years, if she tells someone the backstory, someone will still tell her, "Oh, you need to get healed." That's
well,
my
yeah,
point.
that is true. That's true.
So that statement was
Yeah,
so unnecessary
That's
because she
true.
doesn't
I see that.
come off, she comes off as she's defensive because of whatever trauma she faced up. She doesn't
sure.
come off as not healed to me. Because if you're going to date somebody, I'm of the principle that you need to be honest to the person at least, right? So
Absolutely.
she will need to tell the person how terrible her previous marriage was, why she went on, why she divorced, blah blah blah, why she doesn't want more kids. So these conversations will still need to happen. The problem is that now we are breeding men that do not know how to weigh
Have that
conversations
conversation.
or yes, or to understand. They just feel
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is too much baggage. I've cleaned my hands. What if the
Yeah.
next
Oh,
woman
it's a
that
red
has no
flag. I feel
baggage
like
is
this.
going to
Like
be a
it's
red
always,
flag?
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. It's always we're giving off a red flag because we let you know exactly either what we're going through, what we won't allow, and what we're willing to, go ahead and overlook. Just like the non-negotiable. Like having that conversation, it needs to happen more often because a lot of times people will get in a relationship and won't even know the first thing about a person, but
Right.
yet,
But
you
why
know,
lead? But why lead with trauma anyway? You know what I'm saying? If I'm really trying to get to know somebody and date them on the surface level, I don't feel like I don't feel like should have led with that. You know what I'm saying? Because
Nah, I'm
that's gonna
sorry. I'm
that's
the
gonna
kind of
turn a
person
lot of
that put
people.
all my cards on the first day. I don't like, the same way I said about Marvin, I don't like finding things midway. That's just me. I'd rather you tell me whatever you have to do, whatever your kind of life, tell
Sure.
me on the first 2 weeks. Because I'm the kind of person that I do not have a problem with you having some traumatic past. Just do not have my own breaking point is I don't mind mental illness, but when you start having like all this PTSD, there are some ranges. That's where I cut it off. So
yeah,
telling me upfront means that I would not buy any stock in that relationship. We may end up being friends. So I really do not see the problem or why people are always scared with people being upfront to whatever problem they experienced or whatever trauma they had. Like I feel like this should be something that should be a bonding process of, oh my God, so this is what happened to you. I really do not see it as a problem. And I
Mm.
believe Stella, she's
Well,
ready to
well,
love, just not there.
I
yeah,
So
think
let me push back
yeah,
let
absolutely.
me push back just a little bit because I do see Q's point. I do see your point, and here is the wild card in this Uno game. If you are upfront with somebody and their energy's not there, you've already put down that wild card, right? And it changes the game. So you can't take that wild card back. But if you throw down the colors and the numbers and you do some reverses and skips and get to know somebody before you put down that draw four, because we all know if you put down that draw four, or if you play by house rules and you
You out
do
the game.
two draw fours, which is 8, you're going to be pissed off at that person.
Yeah.
But if I get to know you first before we start playing house rules, at least there's a foundation there. So I see both of your points, Solana, with what you said. You would like to get to know things up front. Nothing wrong with that. But there should also be a process to get to that draw 8 throwdown. That's all I'm saying.
And I mean, the thing about it is, we a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, we all talk from what we've experienced and what we went through.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's difficult as a man. You feel me? Not even as a man. Well, for
Yeah.
me, you know what I'm saying. For me, when you
I
talking
understand.
to,
I can see both parts, but
I,
I'm honestly, I'm with Sana. Like, okay, so I'm with Sana because me personally, I'm about to let you know what it is up front because you're not about to try to, act like, oh, well, I found out this, or why didn't you tell me this? No, 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 no. This is what it is because I like to give people opportunity. I'm an equal opportunist. Okay, you
but
have the
then
opportunity to deal with me or not. Okay,
this,
that it is what it is. Now, I'm not about to. Now, it all depends because sometimes I might lay it out on you that very first time, like, hey, it is what it is. Play no games. You know what I'm saying? Boom, bop, bow. Other times, I might go ahead and take some time and kind of like first weed out the situation and kind of even see if I even want you to even really know who I am. Because I know that you're not even really going to be in my life for that long. So I'm not even really going, you know what I'm saying? Going too much deal with you. So I'm going to keep you at a distance. So some things you're not going to know. But other than that, like when it comes to a love situation, like if I'm really saying that I'm looking for love and I feel like you're potential, then okay, I'm about to let you know what it is. Like you let
it's
me
the,
know what it is. I'm going to let you know what it is. We're going to figure it out from there. Like if I want to deal with you, cool. If not, then you know, move to the next.
Raymond, really?
I was just having an in chat
Ah,
conversation with Stay Tuned. I was just having an in chat conversation, but I also do agree that here's the thing, right? To Stay Tuned's reviews, and y'all know how I am as a podcast. I love to
same.
flip things around. So listen, with what Stay Tuned said is true. The dip can be amazing, but if all the ingredients ain't together, I'm not going to eat it, right? So I do agree that red flags are there, and Janelle has some more things to do to get the ingredients right of who she is. Now she said that she carries off as a mean girl, but I did watch the video, and she said that she knows that she gives off the energy, so she has to humble herself. So the way I see it is, I would rather have somebody who at least acknowledges that and who's working on that, rather than somebody who thinks they're this wonderful thing but they don't acknowledge the pain that they can cause. So I get you, Stay Tuned.
Or she's
See,
not
see
working
how I
on
flipped that back
anything.
around? See, y'all
Yeah,
just
when
thought I
it
was going
can.
to stay there.
Yeah, Janelle's doing a lot. Janelle is
Aileen,
doing a
this is for
lot.
you.
What?
You know what? We're not going
Stella,
to do this to me. We're not going
Stella,
to do this
two
to me.
of us are really thinking on the same wavelength. Our heart will always be there, no matter what anybody says. And
Mocha.
in psychiatry, we say that every single time, even if you
Yeah,
go to therapy, you are only looking for ways to survive with that hurt. It will never leave.
right.
You are still going to react how you're going to react, but this time around, you'll be able to protect yourself from the same thing. So I really, 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 really do not agree.
I
But
wish
let's
her the
move
best. I
on.
really like. I know that she'll find love. Like she deserves it. I cannot do
My girl.
Kira. It's time for her to go. I'm so pissed
yeah.
that she went over that. I'm pissed that Unique left over Kira. Like
I'm
if
so
you're going to like
angry.
no, she should have
She
been
gives
gone just
off
off the
a nursery school vibes. Like she's just there, smiling and
Yeah.
laughing like a clown, giving us nothing. She's just
Yeah.
existing.
like she is just she doesn't even know who she is. She is like Oh my God, I don't even want to say it because, oh, girl, she's having an identity crisis or something. I don't
She
know.
needs to go be with
The
white
way that she came at
white
this man,
man.
but then turn around and say, you have one, referenced yourself as being the closest thing to that.
Right.
You have
How did
also
she get
talked
on the?
about how that most of your friends are that color. So, girl, what are you really like? Stop. What you should never
Yeah.
came to that man like that. That was out of pocket. Out of
Yeah, that was
pocket.
absolutely out of pocket because he could say, okay, well,
Mario,
you think I date white women, maybe you might date white men. Even if it's not true, just to throw it back on her. And Mocha, listen, I am a genuine lover of personality, right? So I'm a little out the way sometimes. But the one thing that I think nobody can not say on this panel is that I don't play fair. Because listen, somebody can look beautiful, but that don't mean they got intelligence. Okay, so Mocha, I keep it straight most of the time. I just get a little out the way
listen,
sometimes.
no. Kira is superficial. She's not.
He was like,
She does
this
not need to
whole
be on the show.
Christianity talk. I was like, what's your problem with him joking? I was really trying to look for the problem she had with Mora. Because he was legit joking and then she was squeezing her face as if he said something out of the world.
Right.
I was really
Right,
trying to find our issue exactly with him joking.
It's
right.
an impromptu class, girl.
I was
What
about
do
to
you
say,
mean?
I was
Like
about to,
that's the whole
yeah,
point. Like you you want to act like a white girl. You can't act right there like you couldn't act like y'all was what it was like just came from Sunday church or just came home or whatever the case was. Whatever the scenario was, you couldn't act that out, girl.
yeah. That was that
Fucking lips
to
fucking
me.
hurts like you eating on a Jolly Rancher.
Right. No, I mean honestly, to me, and the date was improv, right? I mean, there's a guy, I can't remember his name, but he did a whole segment about Marvin Winans singing ABCs, A B C D E F G H I J K. Like it was legitimately funny because we all know how Marvin Winans sings, and it's just like I know you did not put gospel to ABC, so I think with Kira, it just seems like if it doesn't fit her prerogative. By the way, I respect that. Blood, sweat, respect. I like that, brother, as always. But no, I feel that if it doesn't flow with her flow, you're trash. And that's not going to work in a relationship, let alone a marriage. So,
Right.
And
Like
she gives
what
off this vibe of like maybe classist. That's the way I see it. Because every time she looks at people and they say some things, and she's like, hmm. And I'm sure she's actually rating people according to her white friends. When she said I had black cousins, I'm sorry, we'll get to that, but sorry, that killed me.
yeah.
Because I've
Like
noticed that, this is not only a Kira problem. When people talk to me about Christianity, and I'm like, oh, I don't really go to church like that. I can count how many times on my hands I go to church. But you can't tell me because I'm not going to church, I'm not a Christian. Most people go to church online nowadays. And then
right,
Mhm.
I'm quite jovial. I like joking and everything. And sometimes when I talk, people are like, "Oh, you're never serious." Even sometimes my consultants are like, "Oh, you are never serious. You laugh too much. You do this." There was a time
yeah.
we had because we have oral exams, and then I laughed, and the man was like, "This is a serious place. You do not laugh." I have this problem that, oh my God, if I'm in a serious place, I have to start praying to God that God, please don't make me laugh. Because I
right.
laugh when it's not necessary. And this is something that she could
Sure.
have laughed along with him. Everybody was laughing
Yeah.
and then she was squeezing her face. And I'm like, is it that I'm the only one getting the joke as the viewer?
Right.
Right.
Like
And I think it's selective outrage and selective listening because, the pastor could say, sometimes y'all go to the window to the wall for what's in the club, but y'all can't go window to the wall and come through these doors and praise God. Now, you can get offended by that, but if that ain't meant for you, it ain't meant for you. So,
Right.
I grew up in a full gospel Baptist church where I got one more thing to say, became five more things to say. And then
Yeah.
after church, your mama says, now, baby, I want you to go stand by the door. You doing what you're supposed to do. She in the fellowship hall still talking. You just go up and be like, Mama, there was a report on ABC World News tonight, last night, called a cell phone. It's an amazing piece of technology. You know what else is a piece of technology? This doggone bell if you don't get out by face. Now,
Right.
listen, in that situation is fight or flight, and your black life matters. So you should not be that smart to your mama. But the point is, I went from that village of training and having responsibility, all that, to non-denominational, where that joke could be said and it could flow because everybody wasn't so uptight. You say to the window, to the wall, excuse you, you heathen. Well, I'm sorry. Well, Sister Mary was dropping it last night in Uncle Clifford's club, and you were there. So what we really doing? What we really do? Praying with you, shut your behind up. Well. You know what? If you're accountable for your truth, I'll be accountable for mine. Don't judge people just because you can't handle your truth. You can't do that for Gospel Baptist Church. So church humor is different depending on how you grow up. So
But still,
But you're a cheerleader.
here's
She's
like
a
no.
cheerleader. It's just giving me the same vibes of Red saying is a comedian and could not take a little joke.
Right. Like you, girl.
I don't want to go in on Kira because
Yes,
amongst
please
love,
don't.
I cannot stand. Jesus.
I cannot. Like, I'm ready for her to go. Wait, let's go ahead. Let's start weeding them out. Let's get them gone. Like, come on. Let's go ahead, get
It's a
Marvin
reason.
out. Let's
Please
get
do, you are
Kira
killing
gone.
me.
Like, let's go. Get them going. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm ready to go. Like, I'm over it. I'm over it now. I'm over it. I can't.
Yeah,
Can't.
Kira does judge people a lot.
oh Lord,
Meanwhile, she's living in a glass house.
exactly right. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm laughing at Say Two reviews comment. I'm sorry.
So this
Right.
comment,
Like,
Moira talking about healthy. Now that was a lie. He was lying when he said, "People, I don't like people who take healthy things seriously." I was like, I understand.
I don't like, right. But listen, did you see her perk up? Like, are you healthy though? Are you healthy? He knew it. Those were his words. And it was like, I don't like health conscious people. Okay. Because that's all she is superficial, hon. What you got?
Yep.
She should have
Does it
just
like
stuck
it's a,
with Marvin. Two superficial people.
uh-uh.
Mocha, really?
Wow. Not right. Not that
Kira is
daddy.
like the woman from Flavor of Love, that poor raw chicken. What was her name again? Oh my God, I keep forgetting. She's now married to a billionaire. What's her name? Jesus Christ, I knew her name like some minutes ago.
Yeah,
But
listen. Go ahead and
let's
go
talk
back to the
about
Dallas Cowboys.
to talk about. Yes,
Oh,
Hottie, Kira, and this
oh,
conversation. I think
The
someone else should start.
disrespect of you. How dare you even come for this man and what he prefers? Why would he be on a show like this if he was looking for something else? He could have been on any
exactly.
other show where they have all the other cultures that have spread out. They are all around like a little rainbow coalition, all on all those other shows. He could have went to ABC or anything else, but he's over here on this damn show looking for black love. And you want to come with this man and talk about he looks like he likes white women? But yet you say that you are the closest thing to a white woman. Are you mad because he's not giving you the attention that you want because you feel like you're a white woman
Yep.
really inside? So you're really coming at this man? I feel like that's what it is. I
I
feel
mean,
like he's not giving you the attention that you want
yeah,
because inside you're that white woman that's yearning for the attention of this black man, and he's not giving you that attention, so you feel there must be something wrong.
I agree. It's almost like how when you were in elementary school. It will be Valentine's Day. On every other car says, I love you. On your car says, I hate you. It's like, what the heck? What did I do? And you don't really realize it, but usually those type of comments throughout the years is actually them saying I love you because they're taking time out to like slap you upside the head, which I don't condone violence unless you're slapping in another capacity with whips or whatever Marvin wants to throw. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, if they're taking time out to be able to do that, then it's something going on. So I think this is an elementary school tactic of why aren't you paying attention to me? Child, look, the Bachelorette is basically over. The Bachelor is about to start casting. Just go to abc.com/cast or go bachelornation.com and apply, child. Because you've given that Bachelorette energy. Really, it's tiring.
Q, what do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if she's not been on other dating shows.
No.
I'm trying to figure out what Quentin doing on a date with either one of them. The whole time they're looking like, what's really going on? I mean, nobody was really interested in nobody. That was a
No.
pointless date. That was a
Yeah,
pointless date.
that was like him doing a trainer gig. That's what that was.
I don't think it was
Yeah.
pointless. I think that probably Kira had complained to productions about him liking white women. Because if we're going by what what's her name? Janelle said, she said the person who started the rumor was Taquila. So Taquila started the rumor because she went to Quentin's gym and all his customers were white.
Right. But if those are his clients, then he can't help that.
Exactly right.
Man, whoever
Become
breaking
a
bread.
member. Sign up for his
Yeah.
class or whatever the case is. So then next thing, make a difference instead of talking about it. Like,
No, exactly right. I mean, at the end of the day, he can't apologize for his clientele. You know what I mean? That's just like going to a barbecue restaurant and there's Latinas waiting for barbecue. Like, like really? So because it's not a black person eating barbecue, they don't like black people. I mean, really,
right,
really though.
right.
And actually, Audrey, to your point of why are she says the facts are so many black men day outside their race. My question is, what are black women waiting for? I think it's true on both sides, honestly. But also within that, there are black men. Hello, I keep saying Janelle's name for a reason. But there are black men who love to date black women. Really, there are. I mean, I know it's hard
Yeah,
to find, but there are out there. Same thing with black women that want to love black men. I think it's up to us to quit being a problem of putting this stereotype out because we can be a
But
solution and give each other a shot too.
Raylene, if we're looking at it this other way, that's like if we look at it really truly, it has been
Sure,
proven that when black men date outside their race,
sure.
I'm going to say it as an African,
Hmm.
when African men, let me even use African, why am I even going that far? When they date outside their race,
Sure.
the amount of respect they give that relationship compared to when they date within their race is astronomical. That's why most times when people are like, oh, Nigerian women were very, very feisty. That's because we grew up not taking bullshit from men, especially our men.
Right.
I mean, what do people when people talk about Nigerian men, what do they talk about? Apart from the whole scam thing, they're heartbreakers. So basically, yeah, we are competing for who is the best heartbreaker. Because whenever they go out there, okay, let's say they date a white woman, then they start bullshitting like black women. I'm not saying all black men or African men do this, but most times they go like, oh, dating a white woman, they give you a peace of mind. Maybe it's because she did not give the black woman peace of mind. And they
Mm-hmm.
start expecting less from the white
Hmm.
woman than from the
Sure.
black woman. So it's like people always like this insecurities always like bust out that, oh, when they say a white woman pass and they look at her, they're like, oh my god, she has peace of mind. all the qualities that my man may actually look at. And I think because our community as a whole, we are still not ready to like talk about it. Everybody's still pretending like they're in denial about this. It will just keep being a
I
Yeah.
problem.
agree.
But I think
No,
asking
I agree
somebody
with
to
that.
their face is very offensive.
Yeah, no, I totally
Yeah.
agree with that, and I appreciate that perspective, Solana, because I think at the end of the day, the only way we ever going to be able to have a conversation is to be able to understand what we don't understand. And I've been saying this for a long time that the power of curiosity has been eroding for a very long time. If you ask a question, know what's going on, you're called stupid. If you try to
Mhm.
You're
jump in a
right.
conversation to be a part of something, you're lost. And God forbid if you just try staying 10 toes down, like Audrey is saying, date who likes you, period. You're called, you're anti-black. And I see both sides of the argument. Like say two of you just said, some black men want to date a good woman regardless of race, and some black men don't want to date black women because of the limited black women that have dealt with them being brushed aside. So I think at the end of the day, like I said before, we all are problems who have ghosted people for whatever reason. But we also can be solutions by stepping up and being a solution too. So you know what I mean? But to each their own, child. So
Yeah, that's true. Like, love whoever you love. Like, date whoever you would date. That it's on whoever you want to. Like, it's not for the next person to tell you that you're not black enough because you're not dating this race. Because there's like I have, come across where men have said, well, there's been black women who don't, who just don't look at me. Black women who, I love black women, but black women don't give me the time of day. They don't give me the, any type of, acknowledgement.
right.
So they
Yeah.
go on
But what if
and they'll date with whoever gives them the attention, just like sometimes women do. If we don't get the attention from men, we'll go ahead and date who gives us the attention.
yeah, and the white women do give good attention. But what if in Kira's case, she has been scarred by white women stealing her men? Because that
Well, well,
conversation
well
was, I would never lead with that kind of conversation. It's like something that would never pop into my head.
right.
Yeah,
What if she has always been second best within her friend group? She said I have white friends. It's very obvious that she has a lot of white friends. What if every
yeah,
time they go out, the men are only interested in her white friends, and then she's like putting
Sure.
that on every other
yeah.
person?
I
I feel like that's what it is. It's her insecurities busting out at the seams, and it's showing, and she's projecting this onto Quentin in a way. That's
yeah.
what I truly feel. Whether he does like white women or not, honestly, if you haven't seen this man date, if you haven't looked at his social media, if you didn't know him previously and didn't know his dating history, don't come at this man and say
Yep.
that he
Okay.
looks like this type of person, because you look like that type of person. If we're going off looks, if you're going off
Yeah.
sound, if we're going off the way a person acts, you're the one who would, if they all had to say, who in the group do you think dates white men or women? Who would
Kira.
it be? They're going to point at you.
Yeah.
He would really shoot
I,
her. Say the
no,
truth.
go ahead. Go ahead, Q.
How was she really doing? She really shooting her shot on the low. You know what I'm saying? Telling him like, I think he only date white women. If you know what I'm saying, because she knows. She said all her friends white. This and this. Woo, woo. She was really trying to shoot her shot to see if there was a connection there. If she was somewhat remotely, if he was remotely interested in her. You know what I'm saying? Because she ain't got no connections. Who's she connected
Hmm.
to?
No, you're absolutely right, Q. But I think instead of making an accusation, create a connection. Hey, listen.
Right.
So, in my past, and by the way, Lisa Ray McCoy has way better reaction faces than Kira, because this face child, no. But that's neither here nor there. But the point is, just say, hey, in my past of who I dated, I've always wanted to date black men. I may come across like I am judgmental and this cheerleader, and oh my God, I'm a valley girl. But listen, she
Oh,
gives that off. I am just repeating her
listen.
energy. But to that point, say your past and allow that to be a connection. Because here's the thing, you get more flies with honey than vinegar. If you're
Right.
always giving vinegar, nobody's going to want to be around you. But if you would have said that, he could say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna be real with you. I've had the same experience that I've always put myself out there. And I thought, okay, in order to find somebody black, maybe I have to do something different to get somebody black. That could have squashed it right there. And that could have saved you from still being in the competition. But then again, like, why in the world am I playing this game way better than yo behind you own all? That don't make no sense.
She claimed to have all this personality. When that improv came, God, no, she did a terrible job. You know what I'm
Oh, she did
saying?
terrible. And then just got down there and just grabbed her drink like she was a wino. Like, girl,
We
Yeah.
all
was it
need
that
to learn
rough?
from Janelle because she's really a good dater. Like, did you see the way her date and those two guys went? What's her name? Sorry. The date was
Herbert.
actually, yeah. This just proves it. You guys, I should be billing you guys every time I'm right. That Herbert does not like Janelle.
Mm-mm.
I feel like the realest connection is her and Quinn. Like I said, that
Yes,
husband, that like I
Herbert
said, that
likes Katerina.
yeah.
I feel like he's competing with Quentin because also Quentin doesn't really like Janelle. He's just attracted to her sexually because the way he reacted
I
when
mean,
he
nothing wrong
said,
with that.
"Oh, Katerina is
Ah,
my number one connection,"
Yeah.
he had to
mhm.
sit up. It's like,
Some ready for sex, some people ready for love, you know.
Yeah.
Listen,
But then he turned it around and didn't he say something like it was Lee and Janelle? Same connection as
mm-hmm.
Clinton.
I think the thing about Janelle is Janelle has a very Janelle has a very vibrant personality. You know what I'm
yes, she
saying?
does.
A lot of times, see Quentin. I really don't see Quentin really as far as socially. He don't really seem like he's a social butterfly to me. You know what I'm saying? He seems like he more chill,
Mhm.
bad. He kind of
Hmm.
handle. You know what I'm saying? Lee and I really feel like Lee and him will make a good match, but I don't feel like they'll last that long just because
No.
too much of the
Well,
same.
well,
You know what I'm saying?
let me say this to you, Q, because I do see your point. Because if you remember, and we all remember the last episode of how Quinn said you're popular, Janelle's like you're popular. Quit playing. He was like, listen, as long as we're both popular, we find our way back to each other. We
Right.
good.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think sometimes you know it just takes the right person to bring that out of you. Because
Yeah.
as we see that top picture, that looks like they really are in love. And I think the reason why some people may not feel like they can be an extrovert is because it's just not the right person. I feel
Yeah.
that if Quentin and Janelle went off into the sunset, I think they can work because she has enough of an extrovert personality. He has enough of an introvert personality to balance each other out to be ambiverts. Now I'm already giving grace enough to Quentin because really
Yeah,
it should
that's
be me and
crazy.
her. But I'm not in that circumstance to make that happen. So we gotta work with the circumstances we got. But the point is, I can clearly see that
Mm-hmm.
and believe that. With Herbert, it seems to me that even with the hammock thing, it wasn't really real because she was vulnerable about her grandmother swinging in the cat. Not sorry, not the casket, y'all. I'm sorry. I meant the hammock. I
I
meant
mean, but
the
she was,
hammock.
she was talking about us when life was simpler. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
that was a more vulnerable moment. So I mean, I wouldn't take away that moment with her and Herbert, but it does seem like her connection is a little bit more with Quentin.
Yeah,
And with her
absolutely.
steady
Now,
saying that with Herbert, he wasn't, like
but
communicating with her or whatever and responding to her messages. I feel that she's now, kind of leaning more towards Quentin.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
the thing about Janelle is when Janelle first got to the show, Janelle knows she's 43 years old, so she's trying to catch somebody her age bracket. Because first person she was hollering at was Red. Now Red ain't there no more. So you remember she was fighting over Red with Kira when they was
Hmm.
playing bowling. Now she okay, Red gone. That connection wasn't what she thought it was gonna be. Now she trying to talk to what's my man name? But it was a dread. She said, I really want you to be saying, I really want you to keep in contact with me more so. Cause she know Quentin. I feel like Quentin 33, she 43 years old or 41, 42. She know that's a big,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So she really trying to find somebody around her age. That really is.
I will agree with you there, Q, but I think also too, even though she's trying to find somebody her age, she's also trying to find her match. And sometimes your
Yeah.
match comes in an unexpected gift as well. Because and like I said, I think young or old, you can be kind and smart. Young or old, you can be dumb and an actual social cell phone. So
Mm.
it really does depend on your connection. And I've often said this about, talking to grown women like Janelle. You cannot pretend to relate to everything that a grown woman has been through.
Nah, you
It's
can't.
disrespectful. You're wasting your time and their time. But what you can do is
Listen,
relate to them where they are and where you are. Wherever you cannot relate to, is your job to listen and use those as tools in your relationship and not as weapons against them and grow from there.
Yeah, that's very much so true. But in this case, like, the whole point of them is to find their connection. And I feel like, I don't know, Herbert's connection's not with Janelle as it was first perceived to be. At first, it looked like it might have been a good match. Things might have been okay, but I feel like Herbert's also looking for someone younger because he's wanting kids. He's wanting to, have a family. Janelle's a little bit older. I don't know where she's at on the whole family tip, wanting kids right now, anything like that. So
was
I
fight
feel
past.
like there's already some qualifications that are, you know, what I'm
But what,
saying,
but
not
wouldn't that
met.
have to sure? But wouldn't that have to be up to the man to ask that of the woman? Because I mean, nobody's a magic 8 ball. So maybe Janelle might, and I don't know if Janelle has kids or not, but either way, if she doesn't have kids and she's open to that, that's up to you to ask that. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? So, and listen, I, I will say a very cute little Janelle could probably happen with the right guy. I mean, she looks 30, so listen.
I mean, she definitely looks good for her age. She definitely does. And that, listen,
Party.
we see that people having babies later on in life and all that other stuff. I'm just saying.
Listen,
40. She a pretty 40 now. I ain't gonna tell you, she look 40.
Listen, Janelle is gorgeous. She is. But let me tell you, honestly, and I'm just gonna say this with as much respect as possible. For her to be the age that she is, and seeing the way that she's acting on social media, she's
Talk now.
being very immature.
Now you talking. Thank you.
She's being
yep,
she's not, no.
yeah, I can
That's
I
not
can
how
I
a
can
grown
agree with
woman,
that.
especially a grown woman of your stature, that's not how you act.
Yeah,
That's not how you conduct yourself. And you're talking about how you all sit on porta potties and this, that, and the third, but yet you are going back and forth online with someone younger than you. This, you know what?
Someone that
well,
she claims is
Wait,
like
Someone that
way
could be your daughter,
older.
honestly, like real talk, like Katarina
right,
could be her child.
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, I get that there are standards and requirements, but also it's also a difference when you're trying to be understanding, right? And listen, I get it, right? I mean, if you are at a hoedown, there should be restrooms, right, for you to be able to go to. But
Hmm.
also, too, depending on the setup, like Janelle said, they may not have a lot of money, so they have to work out what they can. You know what I mean? So sometimes you do have to bite the bullet and do what you need to do. But, as Janelle said, somebody's worried about my connection, worry about yours. Don't worry about the trappings of the experience. Worry about what you can bring to the experience. And stay to reviews. Listen, on behalf of the Big Girl Nation, community. I'm one of their top representatives. Listen, when a woman is blessed, she is blessed. There's nothing she can do about that. Okay, so it's not that she tries to oversell it, but it is what it is. Okay, I'm just reflecting the chat. Don't get mad at me, y'all. I'm just reflecting the chat.
She does oversell herself because she has done this live that I posted is like one of the latest. She has done other lives where she kept claiming that, oh, people are obsessed with me, the men wanted me, blah blah blah. If men really wanted you, you would not be single at the age of 43.
Mm-hmm.
No
Ooh.
So
children. Like I understand that
Ooh.
you've probably been, you know what I'm saying, stuck in your career. That's a great excuse. But honey, 43, no children, never or not. I don't think
mm-mm.
she's ever been married.
She ain't ready,
Yeah,
but
and
waiting.
Aubrey, I think this is the part that
Wait.
she really does become unhinged, because this is
Yeah.
when the rivalry between her and Kat sets
Mhm.
in.
Right. Stay tuned review said, don't get me wrong, she's blessed in the chest, but she leads with the looks, and when the men get past it later, it becomes a busted connection. I can agree with that. I mean, there's only so much of Toys R Us you can take after a while. It's like, okay, I've rode every bike, I've played every video game. What else is there? It's almost like when Oprah Winfrey left her talk show. For
Mhm.
25 years, she sat in that chair and the world came to her. However, as great as that chair was to showcase the world, she also sat in that chair for 25 years and couldn't interact with the world. So she had to get up from her chair to be able to see what else can be, to see what else could be. So I agree with you, Stay Tuned. You have to be bigger than just what's on the surface. I agree.
You know
Yeah,
what? When it comes to
going
her,
to
just
a
want to go off her
house.
looks, it's just like Kira. Like she feels like she can just skate by just on her looks. And once you get past that, like what personality do you have?
It was just
Like
sick.
Going to a house was
your
just
flaws and everything else are
unhinged.
going to come out.
Kira's sick. Man, I can't wait for to get kicked off. Fuck.
Yeah.
her. Kira's. I can't wait for.
Man, I like watching the video where she came to Kat's house screaming, "I'm here." So what are you going to do?
Right.
Look, well,
Lord Jesus,
Let me play
hell.
the video for you guys.
y'all know.
This bitch said I got 5 minutes, then it's up. I'm here, bitch. Come the fuck out.
They're doing it for the internet.
You're this old,
Yep.
but yet this is what you do. Honey, you're a boss. You don't have time for pull ups unless you're pulling up to the bank, unless you're pulling up to another business deal, unless you're
Right.
pulling up to your man's house, pulling up to the fertility clinic. Like you're pulling up somewhere that is
Not the
of.
fertility.
Listen,
Jesus.
I'm not saying nothing like that. I'm just saying let it be something productive.
I got you. I got you. No, you're right.
This
You're
right
right.
here is this is nonsense. That is not something that is going to add to your life. That just deducted.
Yeah.
Like you are no, you are
Yeah.
a beautiful woman, and you do have a following, and you have a business and a brand. Do you really think that helped it?
No.
It didn't, in my
No.
opinion. I mean, it could have. I don't know because people like ratchetness. They like drama and stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I would, and you know, when I said the fraternity clan, I'm like, Lord help. I mean, really, but I do get your point of just recognize that you have bigger things to do. When I was in college, I often said that, if Steve Harvey, some celebrity said, I'm going to pay off somebody's student loan debt. I'm going to pay it off tonight. Like, I'm going to literally send the money to your bank account and you go and pay it off. If I had that option and hang out with my friends, deuces, I'll see y'all later. Well, Braylon, why you can't hang out with us? I can hang out with y'all anytime. I got an opportunity for my life to be easy. And if y'all real people, y'all be here after. But if y'all ain't real people, I'll be at Wingstop by my doggone self, smashing on some wings. Hopefully smashing on other things too, like a drink. But that's neither here nor there. But the point is, it's options. Each platform requires a different energy. What you focus on, you allow. What you will allow will develop and grow. And that just no, not good.
like yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
looks aren't gonna get you everywhere. So, but yeah, okay.
let's quickly talk about Chris. I think that should be the last thing. See, he's
Awful
cute and
day.
all,
Awful day.
but Aries was irritated and she should
Yeah.
have been honest. She was, come on, girl.
Like,
Yeah, I understand the crime because
Can I?
you have
Okay, this
parents.
this reminds me
Nobody
of
likes talking
Stella and how
about
she
this,
got
but
her
she's
group back.
lying. She's also lying to stay on the show. Girl, you have nothing. You see this boy, I'm saying boy is older than me, obviously, but you see him as a boy.
That's what I said. This is how Stella got her groove back. Like this is what I'm seeing when I look at them.
I don't see she don't see him as a boy, but she see him as a boy because he act like a boy. You know what I'm saying? I personally feel like that date there was awful. I really felt like that date was awful. Then that fake tears that he was trying to conjure up just to make it didn't look genuine. And then why in the to get a chef and doing all this and you know what I mean? I felt like he trying to put on. You know what I mean? And I feel like Ariel, she's gonna be a gem in the show. She seemed very down to earth to me. I
Nah,
She
like
she'll be
does.
up soon.
you
I
think
don't
she
think so. I
I
think
She
I
don't
think
has
she.
no
I think she,
connection. See, what did I tell
her,
you about Aries in the first time?
her
They are
connection.
going to remove all the unnecessary people who do not really like, they're not nice or they are not good to have a conversation with. Once they are done, Aries is out next.
Yeah.
I
mm,
like Chris. I actually like Chris, maybe because of his Nigerian and I'm Nigerian, so I'm just a little bit biased.
right.
But
Yeah.
I
No,
think he's one
I
of
think
the
I
nicer
just don't
guys
Good
think
on
point,
the
that
Mocha.
was the
Good
show.
point.
connection for them. That's definitely not a connection.
Yeah.
Like
When he was with
honestly,
Jessica, it was good to look at. But with
Right.
Aries, it's just like, mm-mm, there's nothing there.
Well,
no, like
I mean,
honestly, I can see him. Like I don't even see him with Jessica. Like I don't know.
Oh, he gonna hit Jessica.
You think he?
yeah.
Oh, I
He gonna hit
mean,
Jessica.
they would be cute, but I still don't even see that as happening. I don't see that one happening either.
He gonna hit
I
Jessica.
just don't.
The way Jessica escorted him around the whole down, yeah, Jessica.
Yeah,
No,
the
no.
way
That
she
that.
did that, but I feel like no, I feel like I don't know, like it would be like him and Katarina type deal, like or her and her, like Katarina and Herbert or
I
Phil.
Like
I
Katarina
don't.
and Herbert, they really have like a nice connection. I do not know what this lady see in Herbert. They need to tell me because I'm not seeing it. But he must have some sort of game that is invisible. Like he's
Lord
balding,
Jesus.
those dreads
Like
need to be cut. He's like, I don't know, maybe physically he's not there. I'm just like, okay, maybe it's the personality. It has
mm,
to be the personality. And yes, Aubrey, the thing is that
Mm-mm.
even your aunties, your uncles can actually arrange marriage for you. It's that. But the thing is that when he said this, we really do not do this in Nigeria. So I was like, hmm, which part? Because we're both from the same tribe and it's like arranged marriage. Maybe it meant that they wanted to arrange him to marry somebody from Nigeria because that's what people do. Because most people do
Sure.
not want to lose their culture, so they like tend to arrange you to marry someone else in Nigeria if you're outside the country. That's what we mostly do. So I really do
yeah,
not understand that. I think that's what was done. So even your auntie, your friend, your cousin, anybody can arrange you to get married to somebody. That's just how it's done.
yeah, yeah. That had to been what it is because I surely was wondering after he said that. I was like, wait a second, but you know what? I'm not even going to get into it with you because I don't feel like he's going to last. Like for some reason, I feel like he's going to be a wild card that's going to be pulled out and going to be sent home.
I think anything is possible, but I do agree
But
with you, Q. I think when that happened, I genuinely do think that there could be something there if he is still enough to recognize the intentionality of that. Because it's not really the quantity of the variety of things you can do; it's about the quality of the energy you give. And when you sit down with yourself, it's like, okay, listen, I got 60 minutes to run through Target to get anything that I want. What do I need, though? What do I need? So if you think about Ready to Love like a Target run, you got 60 minutes. Okay, there's a lot of people I want, but what's the one thing I'm going to put over my shoulders and take out of this thing in 60 minutes? And that's what him and everyone's going to have to do. They're going to figure out who am I willing to put over my shoulder, and that's my main purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel like if it was Chris and anybody, it'd be like Katarina. Like, I don't know.
If it's
Jessica, I could see him and Jessica, but I don't see him and Aries. That's not
Aries
even.
gives me a mother vibe. She gives the old kind of vibe. No offense, that's what I feel from her. So Katerina is better because their conversation is still the best to date, followed by Jessica.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's
So
a
But I
yeah.
good
think I think
guy.
I think Chris is going to make it to the ending because the way Janelle has been throwing subtle shades at him, he definitely made it really far because he's well liked. The girls do not have anything bad to say about it. Like nobody has said anything bad about him.
Mm-mm. No.
And yes, my reviews, he's well made.
What's the other guy named? It's another gentleman on. I forgot. He kind of sitting in the background. He had a date this past week. I forgot
This
who he
was
had a
his
date.
house.
Do
He
you
has
mean the
money.
guy? Do you mean the guy that's like, well, you actually pay attention and stuff? Kind of the guy
His
that has,
name is Chris too.
Not
yeah.
not Chris. It was somebody Aries said that she talks to almost every day.
Phil. I think Phil
Phil,
and
Phil and
Christopher.
yeah, Aries.
mm-hmm. Phil and Aries is gonna work.
Yeah,
Aries
Phil
does
and
not
Aries
have a man
maybe.
in this show. I don't know what you guys are seeing, but she has no man in this show. She has no connection. She's basically wasting her time.
I
Sorry.
haven't seen her go on enough dates, but honestly,
Every single date she has gone on, she was murdering these people, like telling them how all our kids, oh my God, sounded like a mother talking to her children, and it was boring. I'm sorry. Someone needs to say it. Aries bores me to death, and she's just there.
listen, she's just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how long it's been since she's been dating or has dated, but she might just need to get back in the throes of it. Being a single mom's hard. Shoot.
Stay
Let
Oh
me
Lord!
tuned,
tell
really?
you.
Stay
You gotta,
tuned. Stay tuned.
oh,
Said someone as fine and refined. I like what you did there. Wordplay. Fine and refined as Aries will turn me into babyface. I'll pay your rent. I'll buy your clothes. I cook your dinner too. As soon as you get home from work, her thickness is illegal. Well, listen. Obviously, you are going to be a judge for Aries. I'm gonna be a judge for Chanel, and so we just gonna throw down our gavel and just give our verdicts, okay, to each of our ladies. That's what we're going to do. So there's gonna be things pounding on in the court. Okay, that's what we're just gonna
I
oh,
love
do. So
Aries,
Man had
but
looked for he,
mm-mm.
but
I'm
look,
sorry.
get no way with the girl. Boy, I'm trying to tell you, she ain't care about no.
Oh Lord.
Lord. Look,
Q, what
what?
were you saying? Were you saying something? I thought you were saying something.
No, I was saying, what's Buddy name? Who had the dinner prepared for and everything? You know, he did all that for Aries. You know what I'm saying? He ain't get
Chris.
nowhere with. I'm not really.
Lord Jesus.
I ain't feeling Buddy. I'm not. You know, he seemed like a cool guy. I'm just not
He's
feeling him.
definitely cool.
I think he full of. Cause I looked on his social media page. You know, I'm starting to do my homework now. I looked on his social media page, and everything was more so centered around him. You know what I'm saying? That whole date, it had nothing to do with Aries. It was centered around him. Personally,
Hmm.
like, it had nothing to do with her. He brought her over there. You know, she probably the only one that had nothing to
To
do.
flaunt.
Yeah.
But did you see like when he was talking about like his parents and how she parents and how it makes him feel? She just like looked at him and then just patted his arm like,
You're
"Oh,
like,
baby, that's
oh,
okay."
Jesus.
She gave him that arm pat like, "Oh, it's okay." She didn't even go hug him or
And the
nothing.
way they
It was
were
like,
sitting across from each other, it was
yes,
like, come on.
And
there, yeah.
that person, the chef, drove all the way over there to get them. That look like some appetizers. You know what I'm saying? They ain't really cook no
They
food.
didn't even eat anything.
They didn't
Right,
even-
what
They
was
touched the
that?
food.
You ordered a chef for that?
The chef was fine, though.
But ain't no way
And
he
they did
walked.
not eat anything.
Well, it looks
A
like
chef
everybody's
without
well.
gloves, a chef without a chef hat. Amazing.
So Solana, so let's review what's going on here on this live. So me and Stay Tuned are judges pounding in the courtroom, and Solana want to be cooked up by the chef. Is that what's going on here today on this live? Is that what we doing? Is that what we doing today?
I
Really?
have to admire God's creature.
Sure. I bet you do.
Yes.
A hat.
But to be honest, it was so obvious it was not a professional chef. Probably one of his
That's
friends
no.
that could
Uh-huh.
cook. He just got the dress from a store
Like,
or something.
here,
It was
look, I
something
just got you a
common.
little chef coat.
Hey, that's enough for the day.
When he said I got a chef, I was looking for the chef. Then I
You're
saw
right.
some fine tall dude, and I'm like, is this how chefs dress? Maybe not the chefs around me though.
Yeah, he's not chefing. You're not chefing. No.
He didn't look like a chef at all. He didn't.
But yeah,
No.
Sierra should be dating him because she wants Birkin bags. She seems like someone that doesn't know what she's here for.
Mm.
Because who amongst these guys are going to get you Birkin bags? Like,
Stay Tuned. I can't wait. Amen.
Wow.
Stay Tuned reviews. Amen. Just amen. Just amen.
It's
I'm
one.
the one being good today. I'm being good today, y'all. I'm being good.
I'm always on my best behavior. We're not going to do this to me. We're not.
It's
We're
probably
not.
not me. It's probably not me this time, so I'm okay
Uh-uh.
with this. Like,
I've always been on my best behavior on this panel with all of you lovely people. Always.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Doc. Hey,
On your best behavior.
Doc said he
Oh, Lord. Okay.
chef hat.
Have mercy. Oh my goodness.
so I think we've covered everything, though.
I think
Does
so.
anybody have last words? Q, I know you want to say something, so round it up for us today.
Wait a minute. I gotta read this. Acquaints to you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. If you want to be bad, just put him in it first. Lord, Lord
Really?
Jesus.
Really?
I mean, listen. I mean, in order to be strong, you do have to put your mindset into having a mindset of being first, of putting yourself first to be strong for yourself.
You better talk.
So you know, the first thing of strength is going to do is go through you
Hey,
before it
somebody.
rises out of you. Okay.
Listen, he's still working on me, y'all. Okay, y'all know this. Listen, y'all know this, but I was doing good today because Kira, ooh, heavens, I had to bring out the good stuff today. I was like, Kira, she finna, she lucky this is my real hair. This I'd have been done snatch this thing off.
Snatch it
Like,
off. Snatch it off.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna let Marvin do this, the snatching and the taking. We don't just let Marvin handle that.
No,
For a future
Marvin better
date.
snatch and take himself over where he needs to be with Unique. He need to go find Jesus himself.
But it's as far as the connections that's being made,
Lord.
I really don't see any positive connection be made. I see some intentional people who would like to be. There's a film on the show that I feel like would like to be in love and ready to love and find somebody special. It might be a handful of them, but the rest of them, I mean, this season here is a wild card. You know what I mean? I don't know who end up with who. Nobody seems like they're. I know in previous seasons, the first day, you know what I'm saying, people talk, they get to know each other, and you see people build on those connections. I don't know who I seen from the first date is still talking. Only people that I can really say on the low that might be talking is Quentin and Lee. That's the only one I think could be talking.
Yeah, Janelle said that they already taped the season, And she said, thank God it wasn't when all this was going on, because it would have been a whole different reunion. So
They couldn't even get through episode 4 before they just started letting it fly on social media for no reason. Like, I'm sorry, like I said, it just seems like it's a bunch of drama for nothing. But did y'all see
Yeah.
or have y'all heard that they said that the casting call took quite some time for this season? Like, they had a
Yes,
hard time
people.
casting with casting.
They kept
So,
casting for about 3 months, so that
is
was
there a
terrible.
reason? Is there a reason why casting took so long? Or
I think
probably because
it's
they couldn't
because
find
of the
you one.
Miami season. The Miami season was trash, and to be honest, that was what like totally ruined the whole thing for me.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah.
was terrible.
I think they should just do
Hey,
national casting and just put
Both
everybody in a house.
Nah.
That'll make it more dynamic.
seven were not good in Miami. Miami seasons were not good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't
So
know.
thank
Yeah.
you guys for coming tonight or to this afternoon. We're all in different time zones, but
Right.
thank you guys for coming in.
No
It was
problem.
actually a fun panel. Don't
I enjoy.
worry,
Yeah.
next week I'll be on my best behavior. It's like I won't
Yes.
insult anybody. I'll be nice. I'm just having my moment. But it was actually fun talking to you guys. Thank you to the commenters, Mocha, actually Aubrey, stay tuned. My reviews,
Yes.
fabulous, Sahara. Thank you guys for tuning in. It was actually
Yes.
fun with you
Thank
guys.
you
So we'll
guys.
see you
Thank
guys next
you.
time.
Bye.
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 Oh, man.